press 5 to pause or resume.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, May 23, 2023, a little after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We're having a time for change call Wednesday night, tomorrow night, around 9 p.m. Eastern. Here's a set of direction. I've stated them before. They're really good to follow, apply. There's 10 of them. Obey no orders except those from within. Obey no orders except those from within. The only God is life itself. The only God is life itself. Truth is within. Do not look for it elsewhere. Truth is within. Do not look for it elsewhere. Love is prayer. Love is prayer. When you pray, you're praying to you, the God that you are in that body. Not something in the sky or somewhere else. It is our vital connection to all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. Emptiness is the door to truth. It is the means, the end, and the achievement. Emptiness is the door to truth. It is the means, the end, and the achievement. Life is here and now. Life is here and now. Live fully awake. Live fully awake. Do not swim, float. Do not swim, float. Die each moment so that you are renewed each moment. Die each moment so that you are renewed each moment. Stop seeking that which is. Stop and see. Love is our true essence. Love has no limitations of caste, religion, race, or nationality. We are all beads strung together on the same thread of love. To awaken this unity and to spread to others the love that is our inherent nature is the true goal of human life, Hamachi. Enlightenment is the moment when the wave realizes that it is the water. Fix, not on. We all will eventually, by our own choosing, become enlightened beings. And enlightenment is not something that can be given to you. Some people believe that. They believe that, they can receive enlightenment or it can be given to them. Whatever that has been given to you can also be taken away from you. We must choose to find this great spiritual liberation within ourselves and learn how to cultivate its presence in our lives, as we are the masters of it all in the end. Our enlightenment is destined to find you. Your enlightenment is destined to find you in this lifetime or the next. It really is up to you. It is on its way. You simply need to get out of the way and understand how to receive it. When the mind stops all searching in the outer for fulfillment and finally comes to relax home in your very core, the realization is discovered that enlightenment has always been there, just buried deep within your being. Now, we all experience suffering in this life because of one little thing. One little thing. We all experience suffering in this life because of one little thing: ignorance. If and when you take the word ignore, add a little dance to it, you get ignorance. When we ignore the truth of our infinite being, our ignorance expands and soon transfers us onto the path of suffering. To transcend your ignorance and find spiritual freedom in your life again, the intention for a deeper awareness is needed. We must choose to welcome the most profound state of consciousness we can imagine. We must welcome the most profound state of consciousness we can imagine by simply opening up to our own consciousness. We can release anything instantly that would make us suffer. Nothing more than pure awareness is needed to transcend this illusion and rediscover the liberating truth of who we are. All of the past civilizations on this planet, roughly including us, 5, 4 of them didn't make it. That's obvious. Now we, in certain understandings, we've turned the corner. The other 4 weren't able to. We're getting a little boost from the collective consciousness, which we're all part of, and the photon energy field that we are currently passing through. And we'll be doing that for the next few thousand years. This boosts our transcendence and becoming awakened and aware, therefore moving more and more of us moving into the now, understanding the now, and letting go of everything else without fear. And we will, and more of us, I'm not saying all of us, more and more of us are transcending our ignorance and finding spiritual freedom in our lives again, or maybe for the first time. The intention for a deeper awareness is absolutely needed. We must choose to welcome the most profound state of consciousness we can imagine. By simply opening up to our own consciousness, we can release anything instantly that would make us suffer. Nothing more than pure awareness is needed to transcend this illusion and rediscover the liberating truth of who we are. Each moment of our lives has the potentiality to become the most liberating, healing, enlightening experience we can handle. The more open, ready, and willing we are to receive something magnificent, the easier and faster the magic comes flooding in. When you are ready for enlightenment, it will find you You don't have to strive for it. Many on this planet are striving for it. In fact, the harder you work for it, the further it moves away from you. Make it your priority to totally relax and enjoy your life. Fully surrender to your real self. Explore who you truly are, what you really want, and what your purpose on this earth actually is on a spiritual level. This is the transcendence. This is the evolution of this civilization. From material, physical, on the outside, to spiritual, on the inside. Now, you can choose to do certain reminders, so to speak. Like be open to the new, and release your ego's need to be right about everything. Right? Many of us get caught in wanting to be right about everything. We get attached to it. The ego, we all have one. Being right can be the hardest ego trip to get off of, and yet causes a major amount of suffering. If our ego believes that it is wrong about any one little thing, it starts feeling insecure that we basically could be wrong about everything in our entire life. Whatever the mind believes is true, right? Whatever the mind believes is true always becomes our reality in that moment. The colored lens we perceive our world with today becomes how the world tends to appear for us tomorrow. If everyone around you, from birth to death, says that life is this hard, painful, and unfair experience, and you believe them, then how will you ever learn how to relax, let go, trust, and enjoy living in this amazing universe? You won't. If and when we think we must fight to get what we want in life, how many people believe that? That we must fight to get what we want in this life. We end up manifesting a very serious, challenging ride. To experience love, enlightenment, and freedom, we must choose to step over our egos and be open to a completely new experience of life in each moment. Our inner and outer world is one massive playground. Learn how to be free and have fun within your life. Think of each new day as your chance to step on a very interesting and comical life stage. You can choose any hat to wear, lens to see through, or fascinating role you desire to play. Many of us find it very difficult to let go of doing and practice simply being. You ever notice that? A lot of people, and it's usually because the programming. It's always the programming. We really don't have an alternative as in the baby body, and then we the body matures or grows old. So we're always taught to do. You know what I mean? Always taught to do things. Get this, get that, do this, do that, do this. Better get this done, get that done, get this done. And it is incessant. So for us to let go of doing and practice simply being, it isn't really easy because we've gotten in that habit for so many lifetimes. It has become abnormal for people to just relax, sit still, be silent, and alone. It has become an abnormal for people on this planet to just relax, sit still, be silent, and alone. Doaholics have become the societal norm. Many people avoid meditation because they think it is boring, complicated, it takes too long, and don't have time for it, or feel they have failed at it, trying to quiet their mind after a few random attempts. They feel like they failed. When we realize that all of our suffering, chaos, and illness in this life is caused by our inability to quiet the mind, we will spend more time practicing being present and less invested in doing something, thinking it will take us somewhere better than being here. We will spend more time practicing being present and less invested in doing something, thinking it will take us somewhere better than being here. Eventually, with enough time spent practicing being present to the now, we will discover our real infinite nature inside. We realize we are spiritual beings and have everything we were looking for and so much more. The greatest mystics in history, the ones that we know of, all discovered enlightenment when they were simply being quiet, relaxed, and fully in the here and now. When their big awakening happened, they were not trying to do anything. When their big awakening happened, they were not trying to do anything. This is one of the great mysteries of life. And mastery of the mind is by far the greatest achievement mankind can ever have. The experience of being here now, feeling one with the infinite, all-powerful and omniscient, universal God force is enough. It is empowering, highly enlightening to redefine all those old definitions of what it means to get somewhere special in your life. This society has had a deep ignorant programming, being free from our families' unconscious myths and society's deep ignorant programming. When you were a child, what was communicated to you about enlightenment? What? Or about who and what you are? Anything? Did anybody have a clue what enlightenment was or how to experience an enlightened state of bliss? Did anyone ever show you how to open your chakras, meditate, or communicate with the God? Chances are, most likely, everyone around you was more or less spiritually lost. And then telling you what they believed would make you happy, loved, and successful in this life. They wanted the best for you, yet ended up communicating to you how to be unhappy and unenlightened through their actions, belief system, and behavior. If and when you go back and think about your childhood, what do you remember was the typical standard story you were told that made you feel like a failure, isolated, unloved, or a sense of separation? What belief system did you inherit from your family that created massive limits on how you feel about yourself and life today? You may have heard some messages like, you need an education to become somebody. There just isn't enough time for that. We cannot afford that. You cannot be, do, or have XYZ. You are just too much of a blah, blah, blah. Now, naturally, we are all very gullible as children. Yet, if we did not become identified with our family's limiting belief system, we may not be here. If we didn't think like they did, they might have stopped feeding us and pushed us out of the tribe. We needed to think small, do what we were told, and obey the one in charge in order to remain accepted, loved, and alive. From the moment we were born, we all received the idea that this unenlightened state of life was the norm. Now, many of us may have seen all the insane world problems on the nightly TV news and thought that this was how the entire world operated, and mass suffering was just the way things were. As we became teenagers, we either rebelled or became assimilated into the unenlightenment system and fell deeper into the story of separation. The more we accepted or rebelled from our community, the greater our feelings of lack, isolation, and struggle grew inside. Being surrounded by unenlightened people was an enormous lose-lose situation. Being surrounded by unenlightened people was an enormous lose-lose situation. Now, to make matters worse, we were forced to attend some jail-like education system which worked about 3% of our brain's potentiality and was designed to churn once brilliant, creative kids through a social formatting grinder so they became hard workers for the system. We were taught wonderful lies that everyone believed to be true, like how a human life expectancy should only be 75 to 100 years old. When we know for a fact that we can go way beyond that, we were told that we would have to work really hard to have a home, limited energy, resources, food, knowledge, and power. We were never taught to rebel against authority, think freely, independently, or even consider the possibility of becoming spiritually enlightened. The school system made it illegal to teach children how to find a deep interconnection with the infinite source. It was not important to learn how to meditate, heal your body through your breath, how to make tantric love, master your mind through totally quietness and stillness, enjoy all our emotions, know the infinite truth of who we are, or how to achieve absolute inner freedom and bliss. This society all around us is still hypnotizing adults and their children to believe that success is all about achieving a higher level of status, money, and career. Our poor educational system is still in its infancy and simply has never had a large dose of enlightenment, so it doesn't know any better. Now, there are many awakened beings in this world today who know the truth that real success in life, in this life, is defined by how liberated, spiritually rich, loving, and enlightened you are as a human being. This world is slowly waking up, one person at a time. People are beginning to see that happiness is not something you can attain from striving to achieve the right income, status, career, marriage, or diploma. Striving to reach these things will only distract you from walking your spiritual path and discover the most rewarding life experience of them all. Remember, whatever limited ideas that you received from your family or school system were their limitations, not yours. When you stop and give back those beliefs, you can reclaim your spiritual freedom again, or for the first time, within yourself. The limiting beliefs handed down from your family run deep in your blood, and it will take every ounce of awareness inside you to see them. Freedom will occur when they are fully seen, felt into, and released from your mental, emotional body, as well as your subconscious mind. Remember, the subconscious mind is a recording, all right? It records everything. Everything that you might be aware of and everything that you aren't aware of. It just randomly records all the time. And it randomly plays it all back. Whenever. We must choose to forgive all of these people of their unenlightened programming, if and when we are ever to be fully free. It is all karmic, and really, nobody is to blame. They simply were not taught by their parents how to live in a constant state of wonder and amazement in their lives while doing daily tasks like changing diapers, cutting the grass, going to work, paying their bills. When we forgive them and see how they were not raised by fully self-realized, self-actualized, enlightened beings, we can easily forgive ourselves for the limiting beliefs and negative feelings about ourselves that we inherited. This has caused a lot of disruption on this planet for a very long time. Be outrageous and stop hiding from your spiritual power in some safe little fishbowl. Be outrageous and stop hiding from your spiritual power in some safe little fishbowl. we can often hide from our life mission and spiritual purpose in our mind. Thoughts are safe, while real life experiences out there seem dangerous, scary, and unsafe. Life is inherently insecure because death is always potentially around the next corner. We might find it easier to not take risks and go for our big dreams in life, this life, for fear of getting hurt or lost in the wild ocean. When we only choose to stay safe, comfy, and basically dead inside our little comfortable fishbowls of old habits, we only do the things that once gave a sense of confidence and security and stop growing completely. Life is this beautiful natural chaos with a divine cosmic structure. Our lives are this daily adventurous roller coaster ride that we need to learn how to enjoy. Life is meant to be fun because you just don't know exactly how things will turn out. You won't know until the last second how you will respond to what someone says, or how you'll make the most important decision you need to make. Each experience in our lives are here for our spiritual growth. Each boring, exciting, or normal experience is meant to expand us, help us see and feel the entire ocean around us now, and jump out of our safe little fishbowl and swim in the ocean of existence. It's easy to do. Simply stop thinking about your life and actually start enjoying the one you're living, feeling, and breathing in now. It's easy to do. Simply stop thinking about your life and actually start enjoying the one you're living, feeling, and breathing in now. Most of us are doing what? We are living in yesterday or tomorrow. We're living a life that doesn't exist when the life that we have exists right in front of us, and we ignore the life that exists in front of us, and we spend most of our time wondering and worrying and stressing and fearing about the yesterday life or the tomorrow life, not the one we're in. What would happen if we began embracing and loving every fear that arises? The less fear we are holding in the body, the more we can relax and open ourselves up to experiencing a more expansive, enlightened state of consciousness. All fears are simply emotionally contracted thoughts invented by a mind that still believes it is disconnected from the source. It's good to know that the word fear, as we all know, actually stands for what? False evidence appearing real. It's fake. Fear is fake. It's false. It's just a thought. We're the ones that give it all the power. To transcend any fear, first discover what you are deeply afraid of. You can access any fear by opening yourself up to another person intimately in conversation, letting the other peer into you. Soon, you will be able to see deeper into yourself and understand exactly what you are running from in your life. Now, once you know what you are running away from, then run towards it and welcome it into your heart with a big embrace. This approach will dissolve any fear instantaneously. And in time, it will be completely released from your body. The more practice you have in embracing your fears, the easier it becomes to find total relaxation that you can access your full spiritual connection within your consciousness. How many of us are continuously focused on improving or fixing ourselves? How many of us believe that we're not good enough? We got to get better. We got to be this or that. We got to do this or that. Now, this may seem contradictory, right, to what I've been talking about, yet it's actually complementary. How often do you find yourself trying to replace your negative thoughts and feelings with positive ones? How much of your life has been spent trying to heal yourself or your mind? Is all the effort and energy you're putting into improving you actually making you relax into the experience that you are already divine, already sacred, deeply lovable, and already connected to the God source? What's the result that we receive from continuously fixing, improving, and healing ourselves? Is perpetuating the feeling of, I am not okay exactly as I am. Any unconscious self-improvement habit is what? It's just another egoic dis-ease. And the real problem is not what it appears to be. Go to the root of the matter, which is this dualistic mind, and uproot the entire I'm broken and need to be fixed emotional program. Realize that who you are is neither these negative or positive thoughts, yet the consciousness and awareness behind them. Only through pure awareness will you be able to stop the habit of trying to change, fix, and improve yourself, and instead surrender deeply into the spiritual sacred core of your being, where self-realization is. Now, all of us have, we have a noise that goes on 24/7. It's a chatter, it's a buzz, a hum, right? All of us have it. There's no exceptions. We all have it. Enjoying the practice of quieting this incessant chattering and repetitive mind. The mind is a limited conglomeration of ideas and beliefs about who we think we are and what really is. It behaves much like a computer that is unaware of itself and just spits out information that was programmed into it. The mind is like a machine, so it is not conscious. The mind is a horrible master, like I've said many times, and a wonderful servant. We need to train the mind so that we can use it instead of being used by it. Do you believe that any of the outside there, right, would be happening right now? We need to train the mind so that we can use it instead of being used by it. It cannot remain in the present moment. It must keep moving with ideas that engage the past and the future to remain in control of you. It cannot remain in the present moment. It must keep moving with ideas that engage the past and future to remain in control of all of us. When we quiet the mind, we do regain control of it. The more we can practice paying attention to the stillness and silence that is behind the chattering mind, the less power the mind has over us, and the less we will get trapped in our limited ego or identity. The word ego, E-G-O, is really just an acronym for what? Excluding God's omnipresence, which means excluding yourself and who and what you truly are. The word ego, E-G-O, is really just an acronym for excluding God's omnipresence. Through the constant awareness of our ego, we can bypass the mind and access this omnipresent divine spiritual energy that's within every one of us. We can discover our natural enlightened state, where we become aligned with the bigger truth, that we already are infinite spiritual beings who have been given the gift of a limited physical human expression with illusionary challenges that afford us the ability to grow. When the mind is quiet, we can enjoy this divine play and find real peace with this entire dynamic. We find full acceptance that we are both the ego and the spirit, and know all is perfect as is. One of the biggest challenges for all of us is releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. That's a biggie, how habitualized we are on latching on to everything. Releasing all attachments and aversions to everyone and everything. As humans, Homo sapiens, and so on, we tend to get attached to or avoid certain thoughts and feelings we believe will make us happy or unhappy. We get into habits of resisting life and trying to control our experiences so that we get what we think will only bring us joy and avoid what makes us unhappy. We even create these patterns based on what others say, feel, and believe, and ignore our own inner voice and connection. This attachment and avoidance habit manifests because deep down we feel disconnected from our spiritual source. We are still trying to find some form of security by controlling our reality. When we were young, we saw others avoiding what is painful and remaining attached to what is pleasurable, and believed this is how it should be done. The enlightened state shows up when we listen to our heart and stop being attached to or avoiding anything. When we understand that this life is like a pendulum designed to swing and give us both experiences of pain and pleasure, we can transcend them both. By accepting this natural pendulum swing, we become free from being the one who always needs to be in control and running the show. Pain and suffering are just the universe's way of telling us to let go and trust the flow. The purpose of feeling pain is not to create more suffering, but yet for you to wake up and create an immediate new life change. This change is necessary for you to evolve and eventually drop all identity with your ego trip so you can return to your spiritual source. By allowing yourself to let go of your mind's attachments and aversions, you can genuinely enjoy your life again. You then start energetically communicating to this universe that you are abundant, thankful, happy, beautiful, and free. This experience allows you to expand in consciousness, deepen your connection to your infinite source inside. One of the biggest tricks ever played on us, on this civilization, is the illusion of separation from the infinite source of love, energy, and connection, and being free from that illusion. Feeling separate and disconnected from our universe is the unenlightened state. You want to know what unenlightenment is? That's what it is. Feeling separate and disconnected from our universe is the unenlightened state. We become enlightened when we are continuously aware how deeply and intimately connected we already are. The illusion of separation is not an accident or coincidence, since coincidence doesn't exist anyway. The universe is extremely intelligent. Every feeling of separation is needed so that coming spiritually home is that much more amazing. The polarization of separation and unification breeds a truly juicy, alive, and incredible experience of this life. When we become enlightened, we will see the full illusion and know how to stop manifesting another experience of loss, failure, or separation ever again. Now you may ask, well then, with all of those goodies, why isn't everybody going with them? Because they feel separate and disconnected from our universe, which is the unenlightened state. The illusion that we are not connected to the divine is karmic. It stems from lifetime of our mind's attachment and avoidance, of limiting ideas of who and what we think we are. Once we untangle ourselves from our sticky karmic mess, we will remember that we were always one energy, one sea of consciousness, and always connected with our source. All experiences of suffering simply drop away when we pay closer attention to who we truly are. All suffering comes from a lack of awareness of our divinity. No wonder why there's 50-some thousand religions and growing on this planet. Once we stop forgetting our eternal abundant nature, we begin stepping forward into a life overflowing with synchronicity, ease, grace, and love, and knowing our divine unlimited nature. Waking up is as simple and easy as remembering that the sun is always on, always bright, and always shining somewhere. That's a fact. Know that you truly are. Know that who you truly are is already awake, enlightened, loving, and free. When it comes down to it, we already have everything we need inside us to experience all the love, joy, and happiness we could ever desire. All efforting to get anywhere better than here is simply divine misguidance. This universe is already amazing. You are already amazing. And this moment is totally amazing. By sitting in awe of this amazingness that is already here now, we wake up the spiritual immensity of our being. We suddenly stop playing small, and all of our suffering and continuously step into the vastness of our totality. The pathway into enlightenment is a perpetual journey into the now. This wonderful yet treacherous journey involves getting to know ourselves very intimately, gently, and spiritually. When we break free from the hard, cold, calculating mind, we realize who we truly are is love itself. We then find out our life's spiritual mission and sole purpose is to radiate this love everywhere we are. When we know our real nature is the divine itself, we become desireless, selfless, and effortless. Remember how deeply, intimately, and infinitely connected we already are to the spiritual source inside it all. Nothing is lacking in any of us. We cannot be improved upon. People who try to improve you are destroying you. They are the real mischief makers. There's so many improvers in the world. That's why the world is in such chaos. There are too many people trying to improve you. Don't allow anybody to improve you. You are already the last word. You're not only the Alpha, you are the Omega also. You are whole, complete, and perfect. Even if you feel imperfect, that imperfection is perfect. Do not worry about it. It will look strange to others if you say that your imperfection is also perfect and nothing is lacking in you. Yet, the fact is that you appear imperfect not because you are imperfect, but because you are a growing perfection. We think perfection cannot evolve because what we mean by perfection is that which has come to its last growth. This definition of perfection is dead. God is perfect because God lacks nothing. God goes on growing from one perfection to another. The growth continues. God is evolution, not moving from imperfection to perfection, but from perfection to more perfection, to still more perfection. Awesome. I'll join you in the meditation, return to close us out. Take an easy and deep breath in through the nose, and an easy and deep breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Who you think you are is just a concept and is not even close to the amazing multidimensional being that you really are. Look into a mirror for 5 minutes today. Stare into those little black holes in your eyes. Let yourself disappear in the emptiness. Stay for 30 seconds in one state of mind. Keep breathing and noticing who is the creative witnesser behind your eyes. Observe what conscious spiritual energy is present. Lose yourself in the experience. Let yourself dissolve into the experiencer who is having the experience. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, May 24, 2023, 3:15 p.m. Eastern, to continue our global guided meditation call, and around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our Time for Change call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the deepest eternal gratitude at all times, no matter what is going on outside and around you.